Good afternoon, everybody. Right now on 13 News at noon, Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, making their first court appearance. It is expected to be starting any moment in New York City. This is a picture of Maduro being escorted to the federal courthouse. It comes 2 days, of course, after the U.S. captured them in a surprise attack. The federal council is freezing Maduro's Swiss assets, as well as Swiss assets of people associated with him. We've also seen large crowds outside in the last couple of hours of people outside the courthouse. And coming up at 12:15, we're going to be taking a closer look at Maduro's capture. What happens in the courtroom, what happens next, and what President Trump says about that decision. Also new at noon today, an Indianapolis husband and father is now charged with shooting and killing his wife in front of their children. You may remember this story. It was December 28th. Police were called to a home on Meadow Bend Lane, which is on the southeast side. That's where they found 44-year-old Jerry May Maines shot. She was taken to the hospital but died. Her husband, 47-year-old Cecil Maines, now charged with murder. Also new this afternoon, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is ramping up the push to lower the price of insulin. And his latest move is a new lawsuit against Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly and Company. This is in conjunction with previous lawsuits against other insulin manufacturers. This new suit accuses Lilly of participating in a scheme with other insulin manufacturers. Those prior lawsuits have already prompted Lilly to reduce prices and introduce $35 monthly out-of-pocket caps for some patients. We've reached out to Lilly for a response. We'll let you know just as soon as we hear back. Indiana lawmakers are back at the State House today as we speak, and on the agenda, literally hundreds of bills to consider, from public safety to taxes to public education. There's also a proposal that focuses on artificial intelligence. That bill would create new penalties for creating or distributing AI porn here in Indiana. Lawmakers have been putting a lot of attention on that in the last couple sessions. Also, lawmakers will focus on data centers, another big topic right now. Companies like Amazon and Google are trying to build these massive data centers in locations across the state. A bill in the House would require the Department of Environmental Management to make sure a data center would not endanger water supplies. So we'll be sure and track that bill. And there are several bills dealing with children and schools. One of them would require social media websites to ban kids who don't have parental consent. And another would let school districts sell ads on school buses. There's also a new proposal that would ban cell phones, personal laptops, and even smartwatches for the whole school day. There had been bans in place for cell phones during instructional time, but this is basically bell to bell from the beginning of the school day to the end of the school day. No devices. We'll take a closer look at that proposal coming up at 12:30. All right, 12:04 now on your Monday afternoon. Dustin Grove here with meteorologist Lindsay Monroe. Good to see you.
You as well.
And on a warmer Monday, huh?
Yeah. Welcome back, by the way. We are celebrating this month and, getting back to that normal schedule and routine with temperatures that are anything but normal.
That's right.
For this time of year, we should be near 36. And we're going to be the opposite of that, about 25 degrees warmer than that when this is all said and done, when our warming trend takes us back into the 60s, looking ahead at this upcoming Friday. In the meantime, it's 45 in Indy, but I wanted to show you this bigger picture because we've had a change in our wind flow at the upper levels as well as at the surface, and that is starting to usher in some of that warmer air from the southwest. You can see that stronger southwest breeze out there right now. We will likely see wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour at times today. That's going to help to warm up the temperature. We've had a few high thin clouds rolling in, filtering that sunshine to this hour. It's 45 degrees in Indy, feels like 38, but that's because that wind is really starting to kick up. We've got a 15-mile-per-hour sustained wind, likely again to see gusts up to 20. We are headed back near 50 for a high later today. I actually upped that temperature based on our latest warming trend, and it's certainly warming up nicely across the area, and that will put our southernmost counties into the mid-50s later on this afternoon. Here's how your evening rush is going to play out. Keep in mind, could be a little busier than what it has been the past couple weeks as everyone heads back to work and school. As we await that 5:35 sunset, temperatures will fall back through the 40s. Now we've got a pretty big warming trend on the horizon. First is going to be this warm front that lifts through overnight, puts us into Tuesday morning. We're back in the 50s for the rest of the week, and then the 60s on Friday. We'll talk more about some rain and some thunder that could come along with that in your full forecast.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. We'll see you then. A traffic update now. All lanes of I-70 are back open in Hendricks County this afternoon after a crash involving a semi earlier today. Let's take you to that scene. It was around 7:30 this morning, just as the sun was beginning to come up. This was near the 59-mile marker, which is pretty close to the Monrovia exit, if you're familiar with that area. The crash shut down all eastbound traffic. As you can see, major backups there. But again, those lanes now back open this afternoon. Now to that tragic ending to a 2-week-long search for an Indianapolis teen. Divers recovered the body of 16-year-old RJ Williams from the White River over the weekend. RJ disappeared back on December 17th. He was last seen on Broad Ripple Avenue. Officers say they believed he fell into the river. His family, of course, is heartbroken.
We had search parties out looking for him. We had everybody looking for him, and now he come up in this river. RJ was a good kid. He didn't bother nobody. He loved his family, and now he's gone.
It just goes out to that family. Family and friends say they are grateful to the whole community for their efforts to try and help find RJ. At least one person has been detained after a fire at a group of townhomes on the south side. Investigators think the vacant building has had issues with squatters. IFD posted these pictures here from the Laurelwood Apartments on Teakwood Drive. This is near Carson Avenue. Crews found heavy fire on the second floor of the apartment just before 11. Thankfully, there were no injuries, but both units were badly damaged. Now take a look at these flames from a massive fire Sunday morning. This is in Franklin Township. 7 homes damaged, and the smoke was visible for miles. This happened around Deerberg Drive near McGregor and Franklin Roads. IFD says the fire started at a home under construction, which is now a total loss. I think that's part of the picture you're seeing right there. The flames then spread to 2 other houses and even melted the siding off of 4 houses across the street. If highway or interstate construction is giving you headaches, we have some good news for you, a bit of relief, something to look forward to. We're getting a closer look at multiple INDOT projects finally set to wrap up this year. Brandon Schaff explains the changes and how much longer we'll have to wait.
We're talking about ending 2 big projects on the north side, US 31 in Hamilton County and the Clear Path project that so many of you have dealt with for years.
The Clear Path project is nearing the finish line. It's about 80% complete. Almost all new bridges are finished and open. INDOT says construction is expected to be complete by the end of summer, with odds and ends by the end of the year.
Having been in construction for more than 3 years now, we know people are anxious for that to be done, but with it being such a big project, we had to balance keeping traffic open so people can still use it and then closing off lanes so we can get stuff done. And that's just been a challenge to balance all of that, but we are looking forward to that being done this year.
This affects a lot of drivers. The I-69 and I-465 interchange is the second busiest in Indiana. About 120,000 people drive through there daily. Here's what drivers can expect when the project's done.
Drivers won't have too much of a change because things have gradually been changing to what the new final configuration will look like. But, as always, just stay alert, stay off your phone, follow those signs, and plan your route ahead of time. You should have no problems in that area.
INDOT is also upgrading US 31 in Hamilton County between 216th and 286th Streets. Driven by population growth in Westfield and Carmel, there's now more traffic in that corridor. But more cars can lead to more crashes. INDOT found most crashes here are within 1,000 feet of intersections.
It can be a safety issue with those intersections. So what we're trying to do is make overpasses, make interchanges, and then cul-de-sacking a few of those more rural streets so that 31 is safer and it is more free-flowing for drivers.
The interchanges at 236th and 276th Streets and the overpass at 226th Street are open. He says final touches on this US 31 project will be completed in 2026. Brandon Schaff, 13 News.